revision questions related to vectors. Okay. So let's start with a simple example. Vector E is a displacement of 40 meters towards east. Okay. And vector B is a displacement of 50 meters at 37 degrees north of west. Okay. Find out the magnitude and direction of their resultant sum. Okay, so this is example 1. Okay, so let us begin with these two questions, which are revision of the first few things that we learned in vectors: triangle law or parallelogram law, or whatever you use, or you can even use component algebra to try and solve them. Okay. So the next thing we will be learning in vectors, people will be dot product. But since you have a test coming up tomorrow, so we will keep the next learning part in vectors for next week. And today's lecture, mostly we will be doing some revision questions so that you're better prepared for the test. So this is the same type of questions and the same level of questions which will be coming tomorrow. So you should be able to solve these two questions within a couple of minutes. Please send me the answers as and when you are getting them. Okay, so let us understand these two questions quickly. So the first one is easiest to do by component algebra, because you can see the angles and directions and all are given. No? So if you just follow the instruction in the question, you take this as your north direction and this as your west direction. I mean west to east. Okay. Then the first of the two vectors is given to us as displacement of 40 meters towards east. So if we take this as our x-axis and this as our y-axis, we can write the displacement E as 40 I cap in meters. Okay. Now in comparison, the second one you can see is like this. It is 50 meters, 37 degrees north of west. So in the diagram, where will that work out to be like this? Be 50 meters, but 37 degrees north of west. So now you see what you're getting for B, and from that it will be easy to work out A plus B. Okay. So just work this out, and I'll tell you the answer. So when you work this out, the answer for this should be coming out to be that A plus B, it is a displacement of 30 meters towards north. Okay. Yeah, you have a test tomorrow, yes. So I will be doing some revision questions before I move on to the next part of vectors. Okay, so just concentrate on this. So you can see that when you write the vector B, it will have an x component of minus 40 and a y component of 30. Because you can see that if this is 50 and this angle is 37, okay, then x upon 50 is 4 by 5 and y by 50 is 3 by 5. So from that you can see that this will be 40 and this will be 30. Okay, so directionally you see it's along the negative x-axis and positive y-axis. So now once you got this, now you can see A plus B is very simple. It is 40 minus 40, that is 0 I cap, plus, so not too difficult at all, it is 30 j cap, and in our system j cap is the direction towards north. So it was a very extremely easy question for you to work out. Yes, 90 degrees with respect to A, that's correct. So that's another way you can do the question by using triangle law. You can see that vector E has a magnitude of 40, vector B has a magnitude of 50, and the angle theta between them is actually 143 degrees. Because this angle, you can see, so you can use triangle law formula also. So if you substitute all this here, you will get this as 30. And then the angle, for that you use the formula tan alpha is b sine theta upon a plus b cos theta. So in this you will get tan alpha is undefined because the denominator will come out to be 0. So that will tell you that alpha is equal to 90 degrees. So that means it's perpendicular to the vector E. So again that means it's towards north because the vector A was towards east. So that's another way you can do the question. Okay, so I hope this is clear to all of you. Now let's move on to the second question. You can complete writing down the first question. Now second question, you should be getting mod of A. Answer should be that you should be getting mod of A equal to mod of B equal to 10. Okay, and you should be getting the angle between them to be 106 degrees. Okay, so let's quickly look at the second question. It's pretty simple actually. So E plus B is given to you as 12 I cap, and E minus B is given to you as 16 J cap. So one way is you can just add the two equations. So if you do equation 1 plus 2, you get 2A is equal to 12 I cap plus 16 J cap, which means that the vector is 6 I cap plus 8 J cap. And similarly, you subtract the two vectors, I mean the two equations, so you get 2B is equal to 12 I cap minus 16 J cap. So the vector B is 6 I cap minus 8 J cap. So now from these new equations, you can see that magnitude of vector A is 10, magnitude of vector B is also 10. Now you can also see that from your component concept, the vector A, how it is looking in the xy plane is like this. This angle will be how much? This is 8, this is 6. So this angle will be 53 degrees. This is vector E. So sorry, the angle will not be 108, sorry, 106. It will be twice of 37. So that is how much? 74 degrees. Okay. The vector B will be like this, no? This is minus 6. Oh, sorry, my mistake. The vector B is in the fourth quadrant, not the second quadrant. So what we done earlier was correct. Okay. So the vector B is like this. This is minus 8 and 6. So this angle is 53. So you can see the angle between A plus B is 53 plus 53. So 106 degrees. So this and these are the magnitudes. Okay, so good. Deep, you have got this correct, and Bhargav, you have got it almost correct. I think you made a small calculation mistake. Instead of 106, you got 108, but more or less the idea is correct. Okay. Now, another way you can do the question is you can also understand this way, that notice that A plus B is perpendicular to A minus B, because one is along the x-axis, the other is along the y-axis. So what does that mean? It means that magnitude of A is equal to magnitude of B, because this is the property of rhombus. We'd seen this earlier. And A plus B is equal to 2A cos theta by 2, and A minus B is 2A sine theta by 2. And this is 12, this is 16. So if you just, for example, if you just divide these two equations, you will get that tan theta by 2 is 4 by 3. So that means theta by 2 is 53 degrees. That means theta is 106 degrees. Okay. And 2a cos 53 is 12. So that means 2a into 3 by 5 is equal to 12. So a is equal to 10. So this is another way of solving this. So you get the same result finally. That mod a is equal to mod b is equal to 10, and theta is 106 degrees. Okay, so this is another way of solving the same question. Right, so let us Now quickly look at another question. Next example. So to just select the correct option here. Yeah, zero vector, null vector. If you express the sum of vectors as nothing or zero, it should be as a null vector. No? You cannot express it as just the scalar number zero. Yeah, so hope you got the answer for this. It's pretty easy. Yes, the angle has to be acute. This is the correct answer. Cannot be these options. Why? Because see, what is happening? A plus B plus C is equal to 0 implies that C is minus of A plus B. You've done this kind of thing many times. Okay. So magnitude of C is mod of A plus B. Okay. Now magnitude of C is 12 and mod of A plus B is this. Okay. So Now you can see from these values given, okay, that a is 8, b is 6, but mod of a plus b is 12. So what we are learning from this, that mod of a plus b is greater than root of a square plus b square. No. Because you can see from this that a square plus b square square root would have been 10, but at the same time it is less than a plus b, because you can see that a plus b would have been 14. So you're getting this. So these three things imply this. So that means theta is less than I mean theta is greater than 0 but less than 90 degrees. So theta is positive but less than, I mean cos theta is positive but less than 1. So that means theta is this kind of thing. It's not 0 but it's an acute angle. Okay. If this had been 14 for example, then it would have been 0. The answer would have been 0. If this had been 10 for example, the angle would have been 90 degrees. Had it been less than 10, like 8 or 7 or something like that, then the answer would have been obtuse angle. Okay. So this is that inequalities type of questions. You've done many of these. Okay. All right. Next example, we'll discuss a little bit about three-dimensional vectors. So now P is a force of, let's say, 50 newtons towards east direction. Okay. Q is a force of 50 newtons towards north. Okay. And R is a vertical force of 50 root 2 newtons magnitude. So find the magnitude of P plus Q plus R. Very simple question. Should be almost oral for you. Vertical generally means vertically upwards. Okay. Vertical means opposite gravity. Okay. The term vertical we use when we are saying it is opposite to gravity. So basically it means upwards. Whereas when we are going in the direction of gravity, we generally use the term vertically downwards. Like in kinematics, you have the term vertical projection or vertical component of velocity. That's always in the direction opposite to gravity or upwards. Okay, so anybody got the answers? This should be pretty simple. See, again, you can express the vector p as 50 I cap, the vector q as 50 j cap, but in that case, the vector r will become 50 root 2 k cap because they are mutually perpendicular. They are mutually perpendicular. You have to visualize it this way, that imagine this is a horizontal surface like a tabletop. Okay, and in this surface your north direction is like this is towards north, your east direction is like this, so they are mutually perpendicular, and compared to that your vertical direction is like this, it's perpendicular to both of them. So that's why if you take this as your y axis, this as your x axis, then this becomes your z axis. So accordingly, so now this p plus q plus r as a vector is simply 50 I cap plus 50 j cap plus 50 root 2 k cap. You can take 50 common. Okay, so magnitude of that will just become 50 into square root of 1 plus 1 plus 2, that will become 100. So 100 newtons, that will become your answer. Yeah, for the fifth example, yes, Aditya, your answers are correct, and Deep, your answers are also correct. Okay, so what we can see here is that magnitude of the vector E is 13. Magnitude of the vector B is given to us 26. Okay, and B is parallel to A. So you can see that magnitude of B is 2 times magnitude A, and B is parallel to A. That means the vector B directly will be double of vector A. So the vector B should be 6 I cap minus 8 j cap, or you can just write it first as double of, so it's 2 times A, which is 3 I cap minus 4 j cap plus 12 k cap. So that means that the vector B should be denoted as 6 I cap minus 8 j cap plus 24 k cap. Okay. On the other hand, the vector C, you can see, has a magnitude of 39. So that means magnitude of C is 3 times A. Okay, but direction is opposite. Okay, so the moment the direction is opposite, C should be equal to negative of 3 times A. This should be the relationship. So when you work that out next, you can see that, so C should have a negative x component of 9, a positive y component of 12, and again a negative z component of 36. So A is a vector like this. In comparison, B should be double in length but parallel to it. So that is 2 times A. But C should be a vector now like this. It should be opposite. in direction, but 3 times in length. So this is the interrelationship between them. So opposite means it is anti-parallel. So very good, Deep and Aditya. Aditya, just about the directions, but otherwise you got it correct. Okay. There's the algebraic signs in the second part. Hope you understood why the minus sign extra will come now. Okay, good. So hope this is clear to all of you. Just make a quick note of this. All right. So with this, we finish the revision portion that I was planning to do before tomorrow's test. Okay. Now I'll be moving ahead little bit with the future concepts. The last couple of things remaining in vector algebra. Okay. So the next operation we will learn. So we are done with some difference, component algebra, all these things. Now just two more additional operations are remaining before we wrap up vectors. So the first of the two operations is called the dot product, or it is also called scalar product. Now just because we are using the term product here, you should not confuse this with multiplication that you know in arithmetic. This is not like multiplication in arithmetic, it's a vector algebra operation. So it has a different uh, definition altogether. Okay. So first of all, the symbol that we use for this operation is the dot. So if we put a dot between two vectors, this becomes the dot product of vectors A and B. Okay. So this is an operation that applies to two vectors. You cannot apply this operation to scalars. You will understand why, because next when we look at the definition, you can see that it's defined in such a way that it cannot apply to scalar quantities, or it cannot apply to three vectors or multiple vectors. It can only apply to two vectors. So this is defined as AB cos theta. Very simple definition, where A is the magnitude of the vector A, B is the magnitude of the vector B, and theta is the angle between the vectors A and B. So you can see in the definition, because there is theta involved, we cannot take dot product of a scalar quantity with a vector, because scalar quantity does not have direction. So how we'll define theta? Similarly, we cannot take dot product of a two scalar quantities, because then what will be theta? Similarly, we cannot take dot product of A, B, and C, because then how we'll define theta? So the definition itself is such that it is designed to operate only on two vectors. Okay. So just make a note of this first. So very simple example, suppose we have magnitude of vector A is 10 units. Magnitude of vector B is, let us say, 8 units. Okay. And the angle between them is 60 degrees. Then A dot B will become 10 into 8 into cos 60. Now cos 60 is half. So it will become 40 units square. Whatever units A and B were expressed in, it will become square of that. Okay. So few things we can understand about dot product before we move ahead with more examples. So first of all, the operation dot product of two vectors, okay, results in a scalar quantity. Okay. So basically what we mean to say here is that it's very obvious. When we take the quantity A dot B, A is a vector, obviously. B is a vector quantity. But A dot B itself, what is that? That is equal to AB cos theta. So this is what kind of quantity? This is a scalar quantity. Okay. And that's why sometimes the name given is, I mean, that's why the alternate name is scalar product, because the output of the operation, or what we get by operating this, gives us what kind of quantity? It gives us a scalar quantity. Okay. In fact, in physics, okay, work done by a force, this quantity is defined as dot product of force and displacement. Force is a vector quantity, displacement is a vector quantity, but W, which is work, is a scalar quantity. Okay. So this is a definition we'll be studying later in the chapter called work power energy. But this is a definition in physics. This is how we define work done. Definition of work in physics. In everyday language, work might mean something else, but in terms of physics, the quantity work done, it is in context of work done by a force through a displacement s, and technically it is defined in this way. Okay, so first point is that the operation gives us a scalar quantity, which you've already seen. Okay. Secondly, if theta is equal to 90 degrees, that is E is perpendicular to B, then the dot product is 0. If theta is obtuse, so cos theta becomes negative. Okay. Then A dot B becomes a negative quantity. It's a scalar, but it's a negative scalar. And if theta is acute, then E dot B is positive. Okay. So this second point is just showing you that depending on whether theta is acute, obtuse, or 90 degrees, your dot product can be 0, it can be a negative scalar, it can be a positive scalar. So as a simple example, suppose we have magnitude of A equals to magnitude of B equals to magnitude of A plus B, which is 10. Then find A dot B. Okay. So just note down the second point and try out this example yourself. You should be getting the answer as a negative quantity, and in fact it will be minus 500, no? Because see this thing, mod a plus b, you can use this, or because a is equal to b, you can also use mod a plus b is 2a cos theta by 2. Whichever of the two you like, you can use this, because so when you solve either this or this, you'll get theta equal to 120 degrees, because your cos theta will come out to be minus half, or cos theta by 2 will come out to be half, whichever of the two you are using. So theta is 120. Now that tells you that okay, what is my a dot b? Is this, so it is 10 into 10 into minus half. So it is minus 500. Sorry, minus 50. My mistake. Unit square. Okay, so it's a very simple operation. There's nothing difficult about dot product. You can see. If you go with this, you will be solving this, that 10 is equal to square root of 10 square plus 10 square plus 2 into 10 square cos theta. So when you solve further, you will get cos theta as minus half. So that means theta is 120 degrees. If you go with this shortcut method here, because you are given that E is equal to B in magnitude, then you will get 2 into 10 cos theta by 2 is 10. So cos theta by 2 is half. So theta by 2 is 60. So that means again theta is 120. So either way, so I've taught you multiple methods of dealing with these things. Okay. You can also think geometrically. If you think geometrically, you'll realize that it's an equilateral triangle. So it must be like this. A and B must be like this, so that A plus B, which is the third side, is of the same magnitude. ये भी 10 है, ये भी 10 है, and the third side, which is A plus B, that is also 10. So it's an equilateral triangle. So the exterior angle has to be 120. So if this is also 10, that means this angle is 60, which means this angle, the angle between A and B, is 120 degrees. So that's another way of. So three different methods I've shown you here itself of. But the main thing is, once you use either of the three methods and you got theta, next what I have to find? I have to find A dot B. So for that I have to use this new formula that we've learned, that A dot B is AB cos theta. Okay people, so hope this is clear. Okay, now next we will learn few properties of dot product. Okay. So first is that dot product of a vector with itself is just magnitude square. This is very simple. A dot A we'll write as A into A into cos 0, and cos 0 is unity. Okay, so that's nothing but magnitude of A square. Okay. So accordingly, I cap dot I cap is equal to 1, j cap dot j cap is equal to 1, and k cap dot k cap is equal to 1, because these are unit vectors. And earlier we've seen that perpendicular vectors give you 0 dot product. So I cap dot j cap is 0, j cap dot k cap is 0, and k cap dot I cap is 0, because these are coming from the fact that cos 90 is 0. and these are directly coming from this. Okay. Then the next property is that A dot B is equal to B dot A. Okay. This is called the commutative property. Okay. So you know many other things like this also. For example, you know that A plus B is equal to B plus A. Okay. Also in scalar addition, A plus B is equal to B plus A. But for example, A minus B, that is not equal to B minus A. Is minus of B minus A. Just like even in scalars, this is not the case. This is not equal to this. Okay. So these are non-commutative. Division is also non-commutative. A by B is not equal to B by A. So these are all examples of non-commutative operations. Whereas these are examples of commutative operations. So dot product is also a commutative operation. Okay. Simple arithmetic multiplication is also commutative. You know that A into B is equal to B into A. So this is also commutative. But division is non-commutative, which you saw here. Now just like that one, another important property is that A is dot product with B plus C can be solved as A dot B plus A dot C. And this one is called the distributive property. You don't really need to remember these by name, that this is distributive, this is commutative. Just need to understand these properties when you are applying them in numerical situations. Okay, so hope you understood these operations. I mean, these properties of the dot product operation. Now you'll see that these last few properties, excuse me, yeah, these last few properties we will be using in the next definition. These three we'll be using them in the next definition, that is scalar product or dot product in component form. Okay, so we'll just first see how to use these properties as an example, and then we'll develop the formula. Suppose I have the vector a, which is just a1, or let's give it a numerical value. Okay, so it is some, let's say 5 I cap, and b is, suppose this 2 I cap plus 3 j cap. So two very simple vectors, and I want to find a dot b. So यहाँ पे I don't need to find the angle between them and use this formula. Obviously this is ab cos theta. Okay, but I don't need to calculate theta and then put it in this. I can also do it this way, that I can solve this in this manner, that a dot b, now substitute a as the given vector, so it is 5 I cap, dot product with b as the given vector, which is 2 I cap plus 3 j cap. Okay, now when you open this dot product, use the distributive property that a dot b plus c is a dot b plus a dot c. So use this property next. So when you use this property, this will become 5 into 10 I cap dot I cap. Okay, plus 5 into 3 15 I cap dot j cap. But you also know now, additionally, you know that I cap dot I cap is unity, whereas I cap dot j cap is equal to 0. Just make a note of this. Okay, so next what we'll do here, we'll substitute I cap dot I cap as 1 and j cap dot j cap as 0. So this is becoming how much? 10 plus 0. So the answer is 10. Okay, so finally my a dot b for this particular case, where a was 5 I cap and b was 2 I cap plus 3 j cap, is coming out to be 10. Okay, now just the way we use the properties to do this particular question, now we can generalize this. So you can say, for example, if I have a more general case where a is ax I cap plus ay j cap, and b is bx I cap plus by j cap. So we'll see that a dot b, just do it in the same way, ax I cap plus ay j cap, dot product with bx I cap plus by j cap. Now when you open this, you will see you have four terms, but out of the four terms, two will become zero, whereas two will become non-zero quantities. This term will become zero because I dot j is zero. Okay, similarly the third term ay bx is also going with j cap dot I cap, so that is 0. But the fourth and final quantity ay by is going with j cap dot j cap. So these two terms here, they are 0, whereas these two terms are unity. Okay, so finally I'm getting very simple formula, that a dot b, when they are two dimensional vectors, it is ax bx plus ay by. So this becomes a general formula for two dimensional component form. Similarly, we'll see three dimensional component form also, but first you note this down. So you can see, if you apply this formula directly here also, you can see that if a is 5 I cap and b is 2 I cap plus 3 j cap. Now if I just apply this formula, a dot b should be equal to ax into bx plus ay into by. So that's 10. So obviously the formula is coming from the same place that this question solving had come from, which is basically using this set of properties of vectors. This distributive property and this, that I cap dot I cap is 1, j cap dot j cap is 1. And later we'll see k cap dot k cap being 1 will also become important. Whereas I dot j is 0, j dot k is 0, and k dot I is also 0. So making use of this set of properties and the distributive property, we can come up with a formula. So just make a note of this, people. Okay. So let's first explore a couple of simple examples. Okay. So we'll see the second question is a very interesting one. Just try it out. So just tell me the answer for the first one quickly. It's a very simple formula. Just apply the formula from above. Ax into bx plus ay into by. Yes, very good. That's correct, Chirag. Now, when you're doing the second one, don't forget the algebraic sign of ay. It is minus 10 and by is plus 4. So remember here ax is 2, but ay is with the sign. Bx is 3, by is 4. So 6 minus 40, that is minus 34. Oh, so Chirag, I think you made a calculation mistake, but Okay, Deep, let's check that out. Yes, second one, x should be 8 by 3. That's correct. Okay. Now, why that is the case, let's understand. If A is perpendicular to B, that means their dot product should be 0. So that means 3x minus 8 should be 0. So that means x should be 8 by 3. So as you can see, this is a very easy way to find the condition for two vectors to be perpendicular. Dot product is 0 is a very good way to find the condition for two vectors to be perpendicular. This one. Condition for perpendicular vectors. Okay. So hope this question is clear to all of you. Anybody has a doubt with either of the questions? Okay, moving on. Now we'll see the dot product in 3D components. So to just extend that formula we had got earlier, that if individually the vectors are axi cap plus ayj cap plus azk cap and bxi cap plus byj cap plus bzk cap, then E dot B. Now just imagine you are doing the dot product and opening the bracket. So you'll have Ex into Bx because it is I cap into I cap, which is 1. But Ax into By will not be there because I cap dot J cap is 0. Yeah. So basically just imagine you're cross multiplying these terms. Yeah. So when you're doing that dot product, this dot product Ax I cap with Bx I cap will give you Ax Bx. But what about Ax I cap with By J cap? That will give you 0. Then Ax I cap with Bz K cap will also give you 0. Okay. Similarly, Ay's combination with Bx will give you 0. But Ay By will give you a positive quantity. Yeah. Similarly, Az Bz will give you a positive quantity, whereas the other terms will be 0. Okay. So that's how you see that very simply this becomes this. So this becomes the general formula. Okay. So this formula automatically reduces to the 2D case because in the 2D case Az and Bz are both 0. So you can see this is the general formula in component form. Okay. So for example, we have, so you can see that E dot B will become 1 into 3 plus minus 2 into 1 plus 1 into 1. That's 3 minus 2 plus 1. That's 2. Note this down and work out this question. Yeah, Siraj, which question? The last one. Which one is zero beta? Yes, this one. 3 minus 2 plus 1 है ना? What is wrong here? This is correct, no? अच्छा, this one is 0. Let me check. No, this one will give you 1, no? Yeah, deep, that's correct. So here E dot B should be 1. It's 1 into 2 plus 1 into minus 1 plus minus 1 into 0. No? This doesn't have a k cap component. So it's 2 minus 1 plus 0. That's 1. So E dot B is okay. Now next thing we'll see, dot product can be used to find the angle between two vectors. Okay, okay, that's fine. Okay, so just have to be careful with all these things, including algebraic sign. Okay, note, for two vectors in component form, the angle theta between them can be found using the relation that A dot B is equal to AB cos theta. So invert this now. So cos theta is nothing but A dot B divided by the product of their magnitude. So we can use this formula. Okay, so from this we can find out the angle theta. So let's apply a simple example to understand this. So for example, the vector is, let's start with a simple 2D example. So suppose vector is, let's say 12 I cap plus 9 j cap, whereas the vector B is, let us say, 10 j cap, and we want to find the angle between them. Okay, so we'll just apply this formula now. So you can see that E dot B is how much? It is 12 into 0 plus 9 into 10. So it is 90. Okay. And magnitude of A is how much? Square root of 12 square plus 9 square. So that is 15. Okay. And magnitude of B is of course 10. You can directly see. So what should my cos theta be? You can calculate. So cos theta is E dot B divided by EB. So from here A dot B is 90, E is of magnitude 15, and B is of magnitude 10. So cos theta is 9 by 15 or 3 by 5. So that means the angle between them is how much? It is 53 degrees. Okay. So this you can verify by drawing it also. But next example I'm going to give you is three-dimensional. So there we cannot draw the vectors and conclude this. Okay. So we have to rely on this. So let's work that out. So this is now vector A is suppose 2 I cap minus 2 j cap, and vector B is 3 I cap plus 3 k cap. So find theta, the angle between A and B. So just repeat these steps. Now, given the two vectors, calculate A dot B using the dot product formula, calculate magnitude of A, which you know how to calculate for components, and calculate mod B, and then substitute them in this formula that cos theta is equal to A dot B divided by AB. So work it out quickly and tell me the answer. नहीं 90 नहीं बेटा, यू हैव टू बी वेरी केयरफुल विद दिस. ओके, सी डॉट प्रोडक्ट, डोंट बी फूल्ड हियर. डॉट प्रोडक्ट कितना आ रहा है, ए डॉट बी देखो, ध्यान से देखो कितना है. इट इज 2 into 3 प्लस -2 into 0 ना, बिकॉज दिस डजेंट हैव अ वाई component. +0 into 3, so it is just 6. A dot b is just 6, and magnitude of a is 2 root 2, magnitude of b is 3 root 2. So now you see cos theta is 6 upon 2 root 2 into 3 root 2. So कितना हो गया, half, right? So cos theta is, yeah, Chirag and Yash correct. So you'll get the answer. Theta is how much? 60 degrees. Cos theta is half, so theta should be how much? 60 degrees.